This week on the Silver and Black Show, Jim Plunkett and I get you ready as the Raiders look to make it 4 in a row against Kansas City. Former Chiefs cornerback Sean Smith stops by, and Jack Del Rio goes one-on-one with Chris Townsend to recap the Raiders' hot start. All that and more on the Silver and Black Show, starting right now.
The Silver and Black Show.
2nd and 10. Kirkland is out as a tight end. Here's a blitz in the middle. Carr going to throw a lob wide open to Amari Cooper. Got it. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown! Raiders! That time they hit him with a deep ball, and it's Amari Cooper's first touchdown of the year. Right hash, 36-yard field goal for Josh Lambo. Only missed one field goal all year. Went will snap. The rookie punter dropped the ball. Kaiser. The Raiders take the ball. Drew Kaiser with a monumental mistake. He shanked a punt earlier, and the holder, that ball was delivered right in his hands by Mike Wint, and he simply dropped the football.
The Wild Wild West. Welcome to the Silver and Black Show. I'm your host, Nicole Zalumis, alongside two-time Super Bowl champion Jim Plunkett. And what a game at home. The Raiders are now 4-1, the best start since 2002. Jim, it was another nail-biter. I was at home watching this game. What was it like at the Coliseum? I can't imagine how the fans were reacting.
Well, as you know, they're crazy. They go over the top just about over everything. And this year's been no different, except, the games were coming out ahead. We're putting up exciting games. We're coming from behind game after game. And that's what's really got the fans stirred up. It is so much fun to be in that Coliseum and watch these Raiders play a football game.
Well, and one thing we can say is Derek Carr continues to shine. If you can keep this game close, Carr is going to finish it out. Dare we even say MVP-type season with the numbers that he's been putting up. And that leads us to our first headline. The Carr keeps on rolling. Derek Carr threw for another 300 yards on Sunday and 2 touchdowns. But it's not his stats through 5 weeks that impresses me the most. It's what he's doing under pressure. Carr was the 3rd-ranked quarterback under pressure going into last Sunday. And when he was pressured against the Chargers, he went 7 for 10 with 121 yards and a touchdown. Jim, it's nice to have a clean pocket to throw from, but what does it say about Carr that he's been so efficient under pressure?
Well, I think it's his confidence, the way he looks at the field out there. He reads it extremely well now after being in his 3rd year on this Raiders team, and I just see him focus. He knows what he's got to do. He knows where to go with the football each and every time he has it. He doesn't have to look around too much. He just can read it almost from the snap to know where he's going. So, he's there, he's playing, he's a mature guy, and that's only going to continue to improve.
Our second headline focuses on offense as well. An old school reference, hanging with Mr. Cooper. He won't talk that much, but the second-year wideout can sure show you a thing or two about catching the football. Amari went for a career-high 138 yards last Sunday, including a signature 64-yard catch and run for a touchdown. After a fast start, Coop slowed down the last few weeks, but Sunday he reminded everyone not to forget about number 89. Jim, we know he has a talent for games like this, but what's keeping him from putting up these numbers on a consistent basis?
Well, I think it's what they give you sometimes. As good as he is, he's going to be double covered on occasion. So you've got to go somewhere else as a quarterback. And the Raiders have so many weapons at the wideout positions and the running backs that, he's throwing the ball around. He's trying to find the open guy. Cooper's not always open. Crafty's not always open, but there's somebody that's going to be open down the field. And eventually, those numbers will continue to add up. He'll improve. The offense will improve. And just wait till the end of the year and see how many catches he has. There's going to be plenty.
All right, our third headline here, youth movement. Last Sunday, 12 rookies played, 5 started. Safety Carl Joseph picked off Phillip Rivers just before the half for his first career interception. Good to see number 42 everywhere the ball is thrown, and is not afraid to stick his nose in the run game. Jim, what do you make of the Raiders getting early contributions from their rookie class?
Well, I think it's great. You have to have these people step in, even though they're rookies. They're playing in a football game on a Sunday against another National Football League team, and they've got to be ready to go. And I think it also goes back to Reggie McKenzie and the people he's brought in. They're able to step in quickly, learn the offense, learn the defense, whatever they have to learn, and go out and play good, solid football. I think that's a great comment on what Reggie McKenzie has done.
Well, it's a good sign when the young guys are getting the job done, but how about the veterans? Sean Smith makes his debut on the Silver and Black Show coming up next.
And Phillip Rivers under center. Off the play fake, looking to throw, middle of the field, and his pass is intercepted. Sean Smith picks it up, and he's still on his feet. And Sean Smith has some blockers to the outside. He's directing traffic, and he's knocked out of bounds. Travis Benjamin was the intended receiver, and he came back to make that tackle.
Sean Smith making his debut here on the Silver and Black Show and fresh off an interception. Take me back to that play.
It was great. It was great. I seen the formation, assessed what was going on, and Philip kind of threw it up there for me to go get. And it was just one of those plays where it's me versus him, and I had to come down with it.
You were looking for blockers. I thought you were going to find the end zone. What happened there?
The problem is I think I'm too fast for the defense, and I ran past them, and it didn't really match up well.
Well, you seem to be gelling with this team. As soon as you walked in the room, day one, they embraced you. What was behind your decision to become a Raider?
I think first and foremost was coming back to California. I'm being from LA. I have my family down there. I have brothers and sisters in the Bay Area already. So, just having a chance to come back and play in front of my family, I think was big for me. And, just being a part of this organization and the tradition. And, I think if you just take a look at all the defensive backs that have come across, putting this helmet on, and everybody expects great things from them. And I think that that was somewhat of a challenge for me that I was willing to accept, was to add my name to those great list of DBs.
You get to play in front of your family. The Raiders, we really feel like a family here. What is the environment out there at the Coliseum?
It's crazy. It's crazy. Playing against Oakland, you had a chance to feel it.
Yeah, you have both sides. So tell me, playing against Oakland and now playing for Oakland.
It doesn't matter if you're getting blown out by 30 or winning by 30. That crowd was just always ecstatic out there, and they're just wild and everything. You just always wonder, man, what would it be like to play with them? So, this past Sunday, I think it was a moment in the game where the floor was literally shaking, and you just felt the energy and passion from the whole fans in the whole stadium.
Before we look ahead to Sunday's game against a team you know well, I want to focus on the defense right now and the assessment of this defense, because there's been a lot of naysayers from the beginning, and it seems like the defense is coming together, but consistent play. What is your assessment of the D?
It's very accurate. We definitely started off slow, and I'm thankful we have a quarterback like Derek Carr who can put points on the board with that offense. In the past few weeks, we kind of tightened up here and there, but just like you said, we definitely be more consistent. We have great players all across the board who are capable of making plays at any point in the game. So if guys just come to work and just be who you are, play after play, not trying to think ahead of the game or do too much, just go out there and do your job. We're going to be all right.
Okay, so you're welcoming a familiar foe on Sunday. What can we expect from the matchup against the Chiefs?
It's definitely going to be exciting. One thing about Coach Reid is he always has something up his sleeve. He makes sure his teams are well prepared and well coached going into battle. So it's definitely going to be a good one, division game, rivalry week. So it should be fun. We definitely need the Raider Nation to come out there and support us and be loud.
So we asked Reggie Nelson a couple weeks ago who had more swag on the team, you or Jack Del Rio. So why don't you settle the score and tell me who has more swag? He went with you.
He's a smart man. He's a smart man. Shout out to my guy over here with the chain on.
You have so much swag that everyone in this room behind the scenes is now dressing like you. I'm not going to call him out, but there is someone that is playing twinsies with you today. Exact outfit with the chain, with the T-shirt.
Great minds think alike.
Yeah, it's good. The sweats, the shoes, everything. So let's get to 5 questions here. Who was your favorite athlete growing up?
My favorite athlete growing up would have to be Randy Moss.
Oh, Randy Moss, that's a good one. As you mentioned, you are an LA kid, so what's the best part about being home, or at least back on the West Coast?
The weather. Definitely the weather. You can't beat California weather.
No, you're wearing a beanie right now because it's 65 degrees in other places in the country. A little bit cooler. A running back and a wide receiver in high school, so are there any trick plays that we're drawing up? Do you need me to pull some strings?
You know what? I can't really release that kind of information.
Okay, that's good. Keep it close to the vest. Yeah. That's fine. We know you like to travel, so what's your favorite vacation spot?
Miami.
Because?
It's Miami.
The beaches, right?
The beaches.
The
there
beaches.
We go.
The beaches. And it's the sand and the water at the beaches that you like the best.
Yep.
A man of fashion.
Yes.
So who is the best dresser on the team?
Me. Yeah. Definitely.
Way to keep it real. I like it.
Just being honest. You can look at my Instagram.
Is there a close second?
A close second?
Is there someone that has potential? You could maybe coach them or help them to get to your level.
And help them get there?
When it comes to fashion, of course.
To fashion, that's tough. I haven't really seen guys get dressed up that often yet.
So the answer is no. Politely saying no one is even
I'm trying to be kind to my teammates right now.
Sean, thank you so much for joining us. Best of luck. I look forward to watching you against your former team this Sunday. You play to win the game. Simple but true. Conventional wisdom tells us to play it safe. But the Raiders have never been conventional, and neither has head coach Jack Del Rio. Through the first 5 weeks, Del Rio has shown a strong confidence in his players to perform in situations that most coaches would try to avoid. And his players haven't let him down.
Raiders are going for it here.
They're going for it here.
A field goal would make it 24-22, where a field goal would beat them. They're not going to take the chippy field goal. They're going for it. 4th and 2 on the Charger 20. Amari has that outside leverage there against Williams. Going to go right, though, for Crabtree for the end zone. He's got it! He's got it! Touchdown! Raiders! On a 4th and 2, they go for the end zone.
What a gutsy bunch of guys these guys are. I mean, 4th down, the wise way would be for the field goal. No, we're not going to go for a field goal. And you knew Crabtree at some point in the red zone was going to get called on.
Yeah, Coach, once again, ultimate confidence in your team. Going for it on 4th and 2 and getting the big touchdown, getting the crowd involved. What a win for your team.
Yeah, thank you. That was awesome. I mean, it was a great execution, and anytime you go for it like that, when you execute like that, it's a big moment.
Talk about the ultimate confidence. We've seen it now in New Orleans and then now against San Diego, that you have in your players in crunch time and tough situations that they're going to come through for you.
Yeah, and they have. I mean, that's the great thing is we're sitting here, we're 4-1, have a share of the lead, first place, and look, that's what we've earned. So, we'll talk about a lot of things we got to improve, I'm sure, but the bottom line is the team is finding a way to win.
And then you go for the 2-point conversion, and my God, the Coliseum, it sounded like a playoff game.
Yeah, it was really rocking. The Raider Nation was outstanding. And we certainly appreciate it.
All of your games have been decided by 7 points or less. I think that really builds character, especially going forward and later in the season, hopefully playoffs, all the games are close. How does this build character for you winning all these close games?
Well, I think it gives us confidence to know that we can make these plays in critical moments and critical situations. I think the most important thing, though, right now is we're stacking up wins. At the end of the day, you're going to leave the game at 4 o'clock, 4:30. Pacific time, you're going to leave. Do you have a smile on your face with another victory or not? And that's really what we're all about.
And you're playing a lot of rookies right now. What does that mean for your team playing all these rookies? And these rookies are coming up big for you.
Well, it means a lot of things. One, you're building for the future, right? Mm-hmm. But we're winning now. And I think the important thing is to recognize we're getting contributions everywhere. The staff has done a really good job bringing these guys up to speed. We're not leaning on the excuse of, we've got 12 rookies out of our 46 guys that are active. No, we're saying, hey, we're next man up. Let's go play. Let's get the job done. We expect to win.
Now, some people in this league don't trust rookies. Why do you?
Well, I trust good players, and you get your players to perform. That's what we do as coaches. Prepare your guys, go out and then compete your butts off. That's what we're doing right now as a football team. And, hey, rookie or not, however you got here doesn't matter. Once you're here, you're part of this organization. You're going to do things the Raider way. We expect to have success.
And how about Perry Riley? This is a guy that you get off the street, basically, and he leads your team in tackles.
Yeah, Perry did a tremendous job, really did. From the first moment early in the game when he takes the ball away from Antonio Gates to later in the game on that critical 3rd and 2 before the field goal, the botched field goal. Perry gets us into a run front and stuffs a guard and helps make the play right there. Big moment for a football team.
Was he someone you've been looking at the past couple of weeks before you brought him in?
I've had my eye on him. He was that guy, that veteran linebacker that was kind of hanging out there that I thought would be a good addition to us. Talked to Reggie about it. We were able to get that done. It was definitely showed up big this week.
I know you talked about with your defense earlier this week when you're talking about getting better on defense, you started to look about communication's a big thing, that everybody needs to take care of their own business. Speak more to that.
Okay. Do your job. You and I make sure we communicate. I know what you're going to do, so I can do what I need to do. And we trust each other, and then we go play, and we play fast. When we start doing that, you're going to start to see the type of defense we expect to have this year. It hasn't quite connected just yet, not for 60 minutes. And this week would be a great time to see that get started.
Now, you've given up a lot of yards, but I could turn that around and go, but you get turnovers. So do the turnovers kind of mitigate all the yards you give up?
They do. At the end of the day, it's win or not. Are you winning the games or not? So we're doing some things well. We're good on third down. We're pretty solid in the red zone. We've been good in 2-minute situations. So, yeah, no, there are a lot of yards going on right now, which we don't like, okay? But we are playing well in critical situations.
And your arch rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, another AFC West battle, but this is the Chiefs. What's it like with the Chiefs coming to town? Andy Reid, obviously a very good football coach. You know, they got a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over. He's very smart, and Alex Smith. I mean, we know these guys, so tell us about the Chiefs.
Well, they've got a lot of talent throughout the roster, all right? And they beat us twice last year. And we would like to change that. So we get an opportunity on Sunday. We'll see.
And Marcus Peters comes in. He's an Oakland kid, very good cornerback. Was he have 12 picks in his first 2 years? Talk about this.
He's coming back already this year in 4 games. Yeah, no, he's a really good player out of Oakland, and a local guy who we liked him coming out in the draft. I mean, he's a good football player, and he's played well early in his career.
And the whole thing is winning in division. How key is that to always take care of business at home?
You can't win your division if you don't win in your division. Divisional game, got to have it this Sunday.
Well, good luck to you, Coach. We're going to be there, and it's going to be a fun one. I know the crowd's going to be rocking. It's going to be a lot of fun.
They'll be rocking. For us, we've got to be poised and not get all involved in the hype, but crowd, have at it.
Yeah, it's Chief Week. Coming up next, Nicole and Jim will be breaking down this game. It's going to be a good one at the Coliseum.
Hi, I'm Jim Plunkett. Welcome back to Chalk Talk, brought to you by the Ray Morgan Company. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Derek Carr and his performances under stressful situations and how he comes up with big-time plays. Carr used to get in a little bit of trouble trying to make plays when there were none to be had. And this year he seems to have been more focused, more composed out there as a quarterback. You know, he looks for the open man. If he doesn't have it, he doesn't take the chances he did in the past. The first test for Derek Carr this year was against the Saints on opening day, and this is a go-ahead touchdown that Derek Carr orchestrated all the way down the field. And you have one of their favorite plays. You got the tight end here. He's going up and running it out. Got Michael Crabtree coming in and going across, opening up this area for Seth Roberts to come in here relatively with a lot of space to make the catch and also find his way into the end zone. It's cleared out by the tight end, Lee Smith. He goes to the outside. Crabtree goes to the inside, leaves a lot of space for Seth Roberts to catch the ball and get in the end zone and give the Raiders the lead. And one of the good things about this is, although Cooper and Crabtree are the headliners, Derek Carr trusts all his receivers. And here's Seth Roberts makes a good catch, fights his way to the end zone for the touchdown. Difficult situation, 4th and 2, but they're going to go for it anyway. And you got Crabtree down here, and it was probably called a slant to begin with, like this, but with tight coverage, usually they automatically go to a fade, and it was well executed by both Derek Carr and Crabtree. They read one another perfectly. It was a great throw, a great fade route by Crabtree to make the catch and the touchdown. This is a well-executed play, and I think it comes from these men right here having confidence in one another. Derek Carr looks the field over, sees tight coverage. He knows he's going to go to the outside. He needs at least 2 yards, but he's looking to go for the whole thing. And Crabtree and Derek Carr in perfect sync as they read each other, and it results in a touchdown.
You know, I think we all know we haven't played to our potential for 4 quarters, and going to have to. You know, this league's too good. There's too much parity. You know, that could be falling behind early or not stringing 4 quarters together. This is a big week. I mean, they're all huge, but certainly this one is unique in that regard. Just the history, I think, you know, the rivalry over the years, no question, special week.
Welcome back to the Silver and Black Show. Nicole Zalumis alongside Jim Plunkett. And Jim, another divisional matchup at home as they face the Kansas City Chiefs. They're 2-2, but they're coming off a bye week. How much of an advantage is that for them to have that extra week off of rest?
Well, I would say at least, 95% of the time it's a big advantage. They have more time to prepare, study film, go over statistics on what the Raiders do in each and every situation. But then again, you still have to play the game on Sunday, and hopefully the Raiders will be prepared for them. Andy Reid, I think, is one of the better coaches in the National Football League. Plays solid defense, and the quarterback takes care of the football. So, it's going to be a good game, but can only do so much in 2 weeks as well.
Solid defense, especially when it comes to that secondary. In 2015, they had 22 interceptions. Right. They currently lead the league with 8. What kind of test are we talking about for Cooper, Crabtree, all of the targets?
They're going to be tested. There's no question about it. Now that pass rush for Kansas City is also very good. So, some of the routes might be shortened early on to get the ball off, make sure the protection is solid. But, they're going to have their hands full. I'm sure along the way that the Raiders are going to find spots to go deep, to come up with a big play, to attack that Kansas City defense.
All right, it's time now for Plunkett's Pick of the Week. What is the key for the Raiders' win at home in this one?
I firmly believe it's containing Alex Smith. You know, he dunks it. He doesn't throw the ball deep very often. He also has capable runners. So keep your eye on him and not let him sneak somebody behind you, because you get a little tired of the dinks and dunks. You come up, try to play too close, and that's when they go take a deep shot on you. So contain Alex Smith for the most part, and I think they'll be successful on defense.
That's going to do it for this edition of the Silver and Black Show. On behalf of Jim Plunkett, Sean Smith, Jack Del Rio, and Chris Townsend, I'm Nicole Zalumis. We'll see you all next week.